Now, starting at noon today, Republican lawmakers will once again try to elect the next Speaker of the House. Kevin McCarthy gaining 202 votes during yesterday's final tally. He needs 218 to take the gavel. Jim Jordan, who doesn't even want the job, received 20 votes. McCarthy says that he's not going anywhere.
Are you going to stay in the race, Leader McCarthy? You're not dropping off.
Look, I have the record for the longest speech ever on the floor. I don't have a problem getting a record for the most votes for Speaker, too.
Joining me now is the chairman of the Freedom Caucus and Pennsylvania Congressman-elect Scott Perry. Congressman-elect, great to see you this morning. It's a pleasure to have you here. Just want to ask you if you think that McCarthy will become the Speaker.
Well, look, Jackie, thanks very much for the opportunity. It's Washington, D.C., so you never want to be too outrageous in your predictions here. Anything can happen, but I will tell you it's not trending in his favor right now. We'll see what happens. Things might have changed overnight. I can't say that I know that they have, but like I said, it wasn't trending in his favor at the end of the day yesterday, so we'll see how it plays out starting at noon.
And you are one of the ones who is asking for Jim Jordan to be the Speaker, one of the 20. Do you think that he will end up with the gavel? It's not a job that he wants. He has made that clear. Florida's Matt Gaetz nominated him yesterday. And we've got a soundbite explaining the decision, and then I'll come to you after. Listen to this.
Sure.
Maybe the right person for the job of Speaker of the House isn't someone who wants it so bad. Maybe Jim Jordan is the right person for Speaker of the House because he is not beholden to the lobbyists and special interests who have corrupted this place and corrupted this nation under the leadership of both Republicans and Democrats.
I'm sure Jim Jordan would serve if elected, but right now, McCarthy clearly does have the majority, Congressman-elect. And I just ask you, if this kind of chaotic situation continues today, how does this help the party?
Well, look, it's not great for the party, but we're either going to figure it out now or be fighting amongst each other for the next 2 years. So while none of us want to be dealing with this right now, from my standpoint and for my part, I started this discussion last summer. And the fact that we're at this point is because Mr. McCarthy has been generally intractable up until the last minute here. So with that having been said, though, look, if you listen to and watch the speech that Jim Jordan gave, quite honestly, most Republicans sat there and said, oh, my goodness, why isn't this guy running for Speaker? And while I know Jim would be reluctant, I remind everybody, George Washington was reluctant, too, when his country called. So the way this works, though, is no one will really step up until the guy that's at the top steps aside, because there's a lot of deals that have been made. A lot of people have things invested in the person that looks like they're going to be at the top. And quite honestly, unfortunately, there's a lot of punishment that's meted out in Washington for not voting the right way, so to speak, and so people are mindful of that.
Congressman-elect, you are facing intense criticism for opposing McCarthy. Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw calling you and your colleagues, quote, enemies, saying you prefer the Democrats' agenda. Nebraska Congressman Don Bacon going as far as saying that you are a member of the, quote, chaos caucuses and the, quote, Taliban 20. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, I wore the uniform just like Don Bacon did and like Dan Crenshaw did. And they both know these are outrageous, over-the-top personal attacks. And these are desperate tactics from people who can't win on the merits of their argument and, quite honestly, on their record. I will just tell you this, Jackie. There are members past and present that have a vested interest in protecting the swamp and the status quo. Somebody has to fight for the American people who know this always happens to them. This keeps happening to them. Somebody has to fight for them. That's us. That's who's doing it. And we're not going to back down from that.
Do you want to jump in?
Congressman Todd Pyro here.
Yeah.
Congressman-elect, I should say.
Todd.
What specifically do you want Kevin McCarthy to change now in an effort to get your vote? I think that's one thing that we're missing here. We haven't heard the specifics from the 20 of you.
So I would characterize it this, and look, everybody's in a different place with that, but the tools necessary to make sure that what just happened 12 days ago, where a $1.7 trillion spending package that has no funding, so to speak, dropped 4,000 pages in the middle of the night with 7,000 earmarks, doesn't continue to happen. That's what we're looking for, the tools and the structure to stop that. So far, regardless of what Mr. McCarthy has told you and everybody else that he has given, nothing has nothing that he has given, so to speak, stops any of that. And oh, by the way, he's got a long record of supporting those things. So the very guy that says, I'm going to be the guy that leads the fight.
Didn't he oppose the omnibus?
He opposed this one, but in 2022, in March, he voted for it. In 2021, in 2020, in 2019, in 2018, in 2017. Like, how far do we want to go back? And so that's why there is a trust issue with Leader McCarthy. I'm putting it out there, and it's been said before, you don't have to trust me, though. You can just go to what his previous boss, the former congressman that he served for, said about him. So there are issues here that have to be resolved, and he's the only one that can do it. But if he can't do it, then somebody else might have to step up, and that's kind of where we are right now.
I hear you, and that is where we are right now. But Congressman-elect, I'm going to keep calling you that until we have a speaker, right? We can't nobody, the country can't move forward in some ways. So, you know, your thoughts on how to resolve this as quickly as possible so that, you know, the American people voted for change. They not only want to see investigations and get answers on certain things that have happened over the course of the last 2 years, but they also want to see the House try to elicit change.
Yeah, we absolutely want to elicit change. And let's be clear. Just as an example, one of the things that the leader's talking about is as soon as we start, we're going to pass a bill that defunds the 87,000 new IRS agents. You both know that bill is dead on arrival at Chuck Schumer's desk and dead on arrival if it ever got to Joe Biden's desk. It is theater. It doesn't mean anything. The leverage that we have to change things like that was just given away 12 days ago by this town, and that's the kind of stuff we want to stop. And oh, by the way, all the investigations that aren't happening right now, let's take a look back at all the investigations we did do and what their outcome was, whether it was Fast and Furious, Benghazi, the Iwan brothers computer scandal, or even the Trump-Russia collusion thing. There's never been any accountability. We need to do this better. And what we're talking about, one of the asks is to have an independent-style committee that actually gets to this, that's not controlled by the swamp. And that has been resisted mightily as well.
All right. Congressman-elect Scott Perry, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your point of view.
God bless you.
And laying that out.